The Symbolism of Hair. Hair has considerable significance in mystic symbolism. It symbolises your link to the spiritual world. Hair is viewed as a sort of final thread in the communication channels between the spiritual world and the physical world. There is even a constellation called Coma Berenice, or Berenice's hair. The longer the hair, the better the communication symbolically, which is possibly why we subconsciously like to see long hair, and why people grow their hair. Women and men. A Dictionary of Symbols, J.E. Serlo. Whereas hair on the head symbolises spiritual forces, body hair symbolises the instinctive life. This is why the priests of many religions, the Egyptians among them, shaved off all their body hair, and it also explains why the god Pan was depicted with hairy legs. Water, the hourglass, and curls. Inspiration, wisdom, intuition, and healing are all classed as spirit input, symbolically represented by cool, blue water. This spirit input is shown as a stream of energy, the water, coming from our higher spirit to our conscious selves. On the diagram, you can see a wavy blue line falling down to us from above, where it is perceived by our subconscious and then fed to our conscious selves. In traditional Chinese medicine, this may then travel on to the meridians as healing input. Ayurvedic medicine has an equivalent system. As one can see, there are ripples shown on this symbolic stream, and this led to those with an immense amount of spiritual energy being described as having curls. Eventually, long curly or wavy hair came to symbolise a highly spiritual person. Although the people with the hair may not always know the significance, often hidden in apparent love poems, the feminine higher spirit, or the beloved, is described as having a mass of wavy curls. The Garden of Mystery. The Gulsha Miraz of Mahmud Shabistari. Long and twisted are the tales of the beloved tresses, but what is right to say about this mysterious matter? Don't ask me to speak of those wavy curls. Don't shake the painful chains that bind the insane. Last night, I was speaking plainly of her perfect stature when a curl tip warned me, hide away this matter. The wavy curls have overwhelmed straight truth. Thus the way of the seeker has become confused. These locks have chained every heart. All souls are in confused agitation because of them. 100,000 hearts hang all around, and not one of them has been freed from its ringlet. A simple love poem to a girl? The Sufi poets had to be very careful with their poems, and of course that is what they wanted ordinary people to think. But this poet also said, the reason those locks have so troubled my heart is that they hide the face that set fire to my soul. Cutting off hair. Sikhs and Samson. Now it should be clear why cutting one's hair is a symbolically disastrous thing to do. You disconnect from all spiritual input. It is why the Sikhs do not cut their hair. Samson and Delilah, Judges 16-19. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. Braids. Let us go back to the diagram showing the higher spirit at the top and the 2 coloured connecting lines running from the bottom and the top. Curls symbolically describe spirit input, but a single braid is symbolically a rope and represents spirit output. In other words, a conduit for thoughts and prayers from us. Multiple braids simply means more conduits for prayers. And symbolically, one can laboriously climb these ropes to reach one's higher spirit. In ancient cultures, it was the route to the ancestors. Plaits and pigtails. 2 pigtails, or plaits, acquires the symbolism of the twin horns, combined with that of hair. We have a video about the twin horns, so we'll not repeat its content here. With mystics and magicians in Tibet, Alexandra David Neal. I have had the rare opportunity of beholding some of these ascetics, the tall men of Kham, clad in the picturesque garb of the hermits, their plaited hair falling to their feet. Under the starry sky, they danced to the strange music of hand drums and femur trumpets in these majestic wilds which lay at the summit of our globe. On their ecstatic faces shone the proud joy of having trampled down the feelings that keep the mind feverish through hopes and fears, through the burning thirst, this distressing race towards mirages. And then they sank in endless meditations that kept them till late after dawn, sitting cross-legged, the body erect, the gaze cast down, motionless, like stone images. It was a sight never to be forgotten. Topknots. The final piece in this puzzle of hair symbolism is the topknot. A topknot is a small bunch of hair gathered at the top of the head. Tom Tom, the piper's son, learnt to play when he was young, and the only tune that he could play was Over the Hills and Far Away. Over the hills and a great way off, the wind shall blow my topknot off. The symbolism combines that for hair and the crown. It is a way of showing in a more practical way than actually wearing a crown that your crown chakra has been opened. You are spiritually open on a permanent basis. This is Sviatoslav of Kiev. He has the kokol or ozeledets, traditional Ukrainian Cossack-style haircut. This is a Maori chief with tiki-tiki, a top-knot worn by high-ranking Maori men. Then there is the Japanese chômage, the Korean sangtu, and many more, in Thailand, China, even ancient Egypt. But all these top-knots are for men only. Aubrey de Vere, the Sun God. I saw the Master of the Sun. He stood high in his luminous car, himself more bright, an archer of immeasurable might. On his left shoulder hung his quivered load, spurned by his steeds the eastern mountain glowed, forward his eager eye and brow of light he bent, and while both hands that arch embowed, shaft after shaft pursued the flying knight. No wings profaned that godlike form, around his neck high held an ever-moving crowd of locks hung glistening, while such perfect sound fell from his bowstring that the ethereal dome thrilled as a dewdrop, and each passing cloud expanded, whitening like the ocean foam. Sorry, fella. Failed.